This is he said, she said, but where is the liability? Whose fault is it? He said, academics said, he called her, he invited her to his home, he paid $200 for an Uber. She was someone he's known for 2 years. They see each other, then they don't. They see each other, then they don't. He said she's a good girl. He said there are 2 categories that you put women in, wife material or other. She is in the wife material category. He was so shocked by the behavior because it was out of character for her. This man has just done a live, not only filling in details that she did not have, he's also supporting her statement unknowingly. He's vouched for her character. He said she's a good girl. He said this is not like her. And he also said he brought her to his home. He decided to go get drunk. He decided to bring 2 guy friends with him. They went to a party. They came back to his place at 9. His friend stayed. He passed out. Based on that alone, he is guilty of sex trafficking. He brought her to his home, paid for her to get there, told her to come, and then arranged for 2 other men to be in the house. All unknowingly, but he set the environment and the atmosphere for this to go left. He created that. He said the way he described her to his mans, they probably got the wrong idea. So not only did you bring a female to your home, she's expecting only you. It's an isolated area. It's far from where she lives because it costs $200 for her to get there in an Uber. She gets there. There are 2 other men she does not know there. And she's basically trapped. They close the door. Whatever happens next is on academics by law. He brought her into that environment. He paid for her to come. He created the environment for everything that happened. There is no consent in a situation like that because she had drank to the point of blacking out, or maybe there were drugs slipped into her drink. She doesn't know. We don't know. What we do know is there were 3 men in a house with 1 female, and she was in a position where she had nowhere to go, nowhere to run. So I don't care what the video looks like. She was not in a position to consent because there was a serious threat there, a real threat of violence, a real threat of harm, a real threat of things going left. The tape may show she looked like she was with it, but she just said, I never wanted this to happen. I went and got a kit done. I went and reported it to the police. All of that says none of this was consensual. She has grounds to now file a civil lawsuit against him for $30 million if she gets Cassie's lawyers. And it can reroute into criminal charges. We don't know if she was transported across state line, which would make it federal. If he lived in one state and she lived in another, that would explain the $200 Uber ride. And he put this information all over the internet, which then automatically puts it into the federal jurisdiction. He inadvertently harmed himself. This was self-inflicted wound. When she woke up, she said he was on top of her. He said she was naked, passed out. So she has legal grounds, civilly and criminally, against him because it happened in his home. He created the environment for it. He brought her there. He had the two men there. She was in a position where she couldn't get away. So regardless of what the texts say, regardless of what the video shows, the presence of fear was there. Intimidation was present just by there being three men versus one woman in the house. The presence of danger, the presence of, if I don't do this, it might get worse. She has legitimate grounds. She's the only person that knows if it was consensual. And she's saying it was not. And based on everything he just gave her in his video, she couldn't fill in those blank spots. He filled them in. So twice he's given her ammunition to not only have him arrested, but ruin him financially. Because when she woke up, she didn't remember. And had she started remembering, she was never going to talk about it, because who's going to admit something like that? She was never going to tell him about that. He goes to the video, shows her, starts shaming her. Now she sees clearly what happened. Only she knows in her mind what truly happened. But the way this has played out, she has legal grounds for a $30 million lawsuit. Again, grab Cassie's lawyers, that's done. And he can potentially not only go to jail, but lose everything that he's worked for. Because he alerted her to the situation the first time in her home. And then he went live and gave her all the details that she needed. So I don't know where the lead attorney went to law school, but for him to have missed all of that and say we're trained to listen makes me question his legal acumen.